My guys have converted some subway cars into a shelter. It's safe.
I'm fine.
Personal space. Okay, I get it. Let's go.
Hey, welcome to another episode of New Gameplay. Today, my host Jeff Gorge, joined today by my dear sweet friends Ben Reeves.
Aw, love you.
And Leo Vader, love you too. Ah!
Oh, did nothing scary happen yet?
Not yet?
No, not yet.
Why
Sorry.
would it? What are we looking at here, Ben Reeves?
This is Resident Evil 3, the remake
Ah,
from Capcom.
yeah. And you saw this recently.
Yeah. Did you know the remake of 2 just came out last year, so it's been a whole year. Where's
Yeah.
the next game? Oh, here it is. Yeah, so I went down and I played this, and I played the multiplayer briefly, and I had a good time.
Really?
Yeah.
So, if you're someone who played Resident Evil 3 a long time ago and then has not touched it since, and theoretically this person has forgotten all about it,
Sure.
what is Resident Evil 3 about?
Is that all they've forgotten? Have they lost their memory entirely?
No. Well, they remember there was, at least in the original release, a character named Carlos.
Okay. Well, they might not recognize him because he looks completely different, but that's who we're following there.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the game is... They call it a reimagining. They use that word a lot because if you played 2 and the remake of 2, you know that those games are very different.
Yeah.
So they're following in that spirit with this. But it is starring Jill here.
That's Jill Valentine.
Valentine,
That's
yes.
Jill Sandwich.
That's right. Oh, this is an aside, but there's a character in the multiplayer segment of the game called Resistance. One of the characters' names is Martin Sandwich.
It's
Yeah.
absurd.
Like, that's his actual name.
Martin Sandwich. And they say that's
sense.
not canonical, correct? Everything
Yeah.
that happens in that mode.
I think he's Jill's son.
Jill's
No, that's-
son, Martin Sandwich.
That is definitely not canonical.
Yeah.
But
All right.
that
How's-
mode is not canonical in general.
Okay.
That's
I'm
not
interested to
the
see
original.
more of that mode.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have B-roll of that mode, but I'll say that I actually had a good time, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Great.
Like, I don't expect much from multiplayer Resident Evil games, but like I can see myself playing that one.
How similar was this to Resident Evil 2 remake?
Gameplay wise,
Sure.
yeah. So the game, so you might actually see it here. There's a
Whoa!
dodge. Oh my gosh! Did you see that?
Oh,
I
good.
didn't see it. What was it?
That was the dodge move. So in the
Okay.
original game that came out in like '99,
Resident Evil 3.
yeah, that included a dodge move. Like that was one of the innovations, but it was really finicky and hard to pull off.
Yeah.
So they've reimagined it, and it's actually easier to do. Like there's still a little
Yeah.
bit of skill involved because it's a timing thing. You got to do it right before they attack.
It's like dodging for a new generation of players.
That's right.
That's
Power to
cool.
players is what I like to say.
Yeah.
And this definitely empowers you.
Okay, now she's going to be a zombie, right? How was that?
Oh yeah, she's done for.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning. Oh boy.
So are these
Ooh,
canonical
tasty.
bites? Or is it just whoever's playing it is not doing a good
No,
job?
it's kind of like Martin Sandwich.
Okay.
Those bites don't really exist in the canon.
Okay.
But yeah, so like 2, like the remake of 2, like the game plays pretty well. It's like
Yeah.
a first shooter, as you can see. You explore different environments, collect stuff like you do in Resident Evil games, and then use those items to unlock new areas.
Right.
I think the gameplay is really solid. I like the gunplay. It's a little bit slower than a normal shooter.
Yeah. So I asked a question
fun.
earlier, and it was a super meandering question. I'll just get right to it. What is Resident Evil 3 about? I forgot. It's been a long time.
Oh. Wait, is this what you were getting at with
Yes,
the person
I was
who lost
trying
their
to.
mind or whatever?
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't understand what you were going for.
I was trying to be subtle, and I'm just
Yeah.
going to have to unsheath the hammer.
Resident Evil 3 stars Jill Valentine.
Yes.
Oh, here's an aside. Martin Sandwich. No, Resident Evil 3 stars Jill Valentine. It's
Yeah.
set during the events of Resident Evil 2, kind of right around there. Takes place a little bit before, a little bit after.
Yeah.
So it's all about her surviving the Raccoon City outbreak.
Spoilers. Surviving.
Oh, or maybe not. It's her journey through the outbreak.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 2 was a sweet spot for me as far as good controls, like felt like tight gunplay, but not a full-on action game. Still very scary. Still felt like you weren't in control. But having a dodge move like that gives me Resident Evil 6 flashbacks. Are there other things like that that make it more actiony, or does it still feel very scary?
I'll say that's the big thing. You can notice there's like environmental hazards you can shoot, like that electric thing.
That's
So
cool.
she just stunned a couple of the zombies. The defensive items are gone. They're kind of replaced by that dodge move. But when you do
Huh.
well, I think I ended up liking it because it feels different, right?
Yeah.
And if you can pull off the dodge as many times as you want, so it's not like a limited resource.
She's not like a stamina.
that was
Hound.
the cool part about the defensive items for me is there was kind of the management of resources.
Yeah.
And deciding whether to spend them.
I agree. I do like it, but this kind of fills that spot. And I did like the dodge. The more I used it, we'll see if she uses it again. But then when you dodge, you can like pull up your gun and kind of enters this slow-mo, enters into slow motion, and she zooms in on their head, so you get a free couple of headshots on them.
Right.
If you're good. So that's a lot of fun. So I think that in and of itself is kind of like the big action-y element to it. But it's not quite action-y to the extreme that 6 was.
Right.
Yeah.
And I actually kind of prefer this kind of a little bit slower action.
Me too.
Now,
Fewer zombies.
Was 3 the one that had Nemesis in it?
It is. Yeah, we might see him here in a minute.
That's gross,
Oh.
by the way.
Yeah, so this is an area Jill's trying to get to this power station and turn back on the power.
Right.
So she kind of enters in this maze and has to like flip all these breakers, but there's these little bugs skittering around, and they can infect her with their bug juice.
Yeah.
And
hate that.
there's the thing you read earlier on. It's like, hey, I got infected, but I ate a plant, and then I barfed up the bugs. So so it's kind of this thing. If you get infected, eat a plant, and you'll heal yourself.
A green herb or any plant.
A green herb, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, watch out! What are you doing?
How can she not constantly be saying, this is the grossest thing that is imaginable?
Yeah. Or
Like
just
with
like,
every step, like what is yuck,
I'm getting
yuck,
too
yuck.
old for this, or something like that.
Or just, I don't know.
Or just constantly screaming.
Yeah. I like it when protagonists are as scared as I am.
yeah.
It is super gross though, because the stuff that's just sort of dripping.
Yeah.
Off
It's
the
like hitting
top
her
of
and
the
she's not
ceiling.
reacting. She doesn't like even go, ugh, yuck.
Yeah, because I'll like, my wife will like sometimes like touch me with her floss or something. I'm like, ugh, gross. It's floss. I don't want to.
Yeah.
My least
So
favorite
just-
dance.
That's just right. Get that out of here.
Mind your own personal space.
You have fun.
We have a lot of fun, Dan. I don't know why she's not shooting this.
Some weird choices in that gameplay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and you were asking earlier.
Yeah. So how is
About the
Nemesis
Nemesis?
different from Mr. X in the Resident Evil 2 remake? Like,
Well, you might notice he has some tendrils there.
okay.
So that's one difference.
Exhibit
I
A.
think he's a little bit faster, too. He's a little bit bigger.
And got no hat.
He ain't got no hat. But he can use those tendrils to whip out and like grab you if you're running away.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
can, I think he does it in a bit. He like jumps in front of you, so he's more mobile. And then he can also use weapons. So
Okay.
he also just looks supposed look at him. But so later on in the game, he'll pick up a variety of weapons. And you
Whoa.
have a couple of different boss encounters with him.
Shoot the generator.
Yeah, do it, Joe.
This is a no bullet run, apparently, this footage here, so.
Oh,
We
that
should be
is-
clear, this is footage that Capcom has provided. This is not you playing, because you'd be doing
No,
so,
yeah,
so
it'd
much
be
better.
so much better.
And you would have picked up that handgun ammo earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, Jill.
She walked
Would've-
past.
You would have died maybe in a different, more exciting way.
I would have died that.
This looks like a game for fans of in-game signs. So I'm noticing the streets of Raccoon City, a lot of really cool signs.
Yeah.
Jim's Crabs, I think, is my favorite one so far. I like Toy Uncle is
Uncle,
really good. It's a
The
superstore.
super shop.
Moon's Donuts, naturally.
Yeah, this obviously none of these places existed
Right.
in the original 3. But
Now
there
did-
are some areas where you're like, oh, this kind of lines up with like 3.
Did you revisit Resident Evil 3 before checking out the remake?
I did actually.
How
So,
close is this to like how things were laid out?
It's very, very different.
Yeah.
There are some areas where you're like, oh, that's kind of one-to-one. Like there's an area with an explosive barrel.
Yeah.
Early on in 3, which you're like, oh, that's kind of similar to like the barrel scene here. There's a scene where the zombies push over a fence, but like the layout looks completely different.
Yeah.
And actually, that's one thing I like, because the original release of 3 was a little bit more linear.
Yeah.
And this, they've kind of padded out the areas so you're exploring them a little bit more. So you're using different things to unlock other areas in kind of Resident Evil fashion.
Yeah. What is going on with the wig that Carlos is very clearly wearing?
He's very ashamed of his bald head.
That is a cheap wig.
Wow. This is just like them throwing cosplayers a real, just like laying
Here you
it
go,
up for
guys.
it. Here you go. You don't have to spend it very much money on your wig.
I was
for this.
talking to some of those
softball.
guys, and they're like, I just asked something about Carlos, and they're like, oh, we think it looks good.
Just immediately they're like defensive.
Yeah, like, what do you think?
No, we like his hair a lot
like-
so much.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about that, but okay. Like, I think they got some heat online or something.
Yeah, people probably saw it. It looks bad and
People
weird,
noticed.
What'll
right?
happen?
Well, his original design, he's just like a super normal looking dude. He's got a normal
I guess
short haircut.
any attention is good attention, right?
Yeah, there you, I don't mind it.
Yeah.
It makes him gives him a distinct personality.
So you did play this yourself?
He looks like
But not this footage?
nice person. I did play this section. I did not record.
Were you
this
scared?
specific footage.
Yeah.
I was actually very scared because the Nemesis is chasing me right now.
But
And
do
they
you think
do
it's scarier than Mr. X? From
Oh
Resident
man,
Evil 2?
it's so hard to tell because I spent so much more time with Resident Evil 2 at this
Mm-hmm.
point. So,
Yeah.
And it, in some ways, it does feel kind of like here's another take on that concept.
Mm-hmm.
But the music they throw at you is really intense. So I could see myself playing it and being like more terrified of him.
It's hard to tell with a bunch of idiots talking over the footage whether it's going to be super scary or not.
Yeah,
I
just-
wonder if Mr. X's or the Nemesis, they're the same in my mind. They look pretty similar.
They're both tyrants.
Yeah. The Nemesis's new abilities will be like more annoying than scary. I don't know, because the way Mr. X stomped after you and he had a bit more of an understated design, it was really creepy, and the image of it really stuck with me for a long time. And the way Nemesis looks a little more
Yeah.
just kind of generic to be really mean.
That's an interesting point. Yeah, I will say Mr. X, I felt like it got to a point where it's like he wasn't really that threatening to me anymore. Like I wasn't scared, like worried that I would die from him.
Sure.
But Tyrant, I think, is going to be a force where you could die from him.
Talk about what we're looking at right now. That's more interesting. What is
Which Pokemon is that?
That's Squirtle's fourth form.
good grief? You should have stopped at 3. That
Yeah,
was
that's-
really scary.
That's one of the hunter variants,
Uh-huh.
Beep, 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 beep.
which they were in the original, but they were very different looking.
Yeah. How long when did the original come out?
99.
Wow.
So it's been over 20 years now, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But and yeah, that was another one where I think it released like a year after the original, but games back then didn't take as long to make. So they've been working on this one in parallel with the second one.
Yeah.
So this development on this remake started before 2 remake came out.
Did you ask them if they're going to do a remake of 4 or are they
Yeah, surprisingly they wouldn't tell me their plans.
Oh, interesting.
It's like, tell me what game you're making next. And I'm like,
You got to ask it like a question.
no, thank you.
Oh no.
Yikes.
But they seem kind of coy about it. I couldn't get a good sense. Like, it seems like they weren't. There were no like coy, like, oh, maybe we'll see. It was kind of more like, well, I don't know. So I kind of got the impression that maybe
That
they-
old thing? Resident Evil
didn't-
4? Careful what you wish for.
Take this with a grain of salt, but I got the
Yeah.
impression that they're not necessarily working on a remake
Okay.
for right this second.
Yeah.
Yeah. A Resident Evil 4 that looked this good would be awesome, though.
It would. It's one of those things where like 2 and 3 definitely needed an overhaul gameplay wise,
Yeah.
in addition to visually, whereas 4 really just needs an overhaul visually, right?
Yeah.
Not even an overhaul. It still looks decent.
So this is one of those weapons you were talking about.
Yeah, this is a boss fight. yeah. I don't know if you heard me say weapon earlier.
Yeah. He's not good at it yet.
I would call a flamethrower a weapon. I don't know. About you.
Yeah. He's giving you a big shot across the bow just as a warning. Like, this could be you.
No, seriously, I want you. So the goal here is to shoot the tank on his back and it blows up.
Yeah, it's a flamethrower in a video game.
We've been down this road.
Well, I just wasn't sure if the person who was playing this had totally forgotten all video games or was it just the original Resident Evil 3?
Yeah.
Again, Jill really should be saying something here. Like,
I'm on fire.
yeah.
Oh, this guy's big.
Oh,
It's like
My-
Mondays or.
My neck hurts from when he just pulled me up a ladder by my head.
I'm going to have to go to the chiropractor now.
Maybe
Start
not.
like one rut row is all I have.
Yeah.
Just to bond me to the character.
Well, yeah, there you go. Resident Evil 3 comes out really soon.
Yeah?
How soon?
Boy, I wish I had that information handy.
Well,
Sometime this year.
Cool. Well, I'll be around, I hope.
Okay, I hope so.
All right.
stall while I look
You
it up,
might
guys.
still be alive.
Stall.
Well,
Oh,
I
stretch.
hope I don't run into a nemesis
Oh, he's on
before
fire.
now in the impending release date.
Yeah. check that.
April
on your neck.
3rd.
April 3rd. There it is. You heard it here first.
Game comes out April 3rd.
All right.
So be excited.
Thanks for showing this off, or at least talking over it, Reeves. We appreciate it. That's your cue to say thanks.
Oh, bye. Yeah, you're welcome.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye. Ha ha ha. What a fantastic episode of New Gameplay today. Come back every week for fun, informational looks at new releases and early previews of unreleased games. Ha ha ha. Stay subscribed and I guarantee there will be an episode about Cyberpunk 2077 at some point down the line.